Hey guys, we're going to get into topo surface and creating a topo surface for your plan. What I'm going to do is start off fresh, and you're welcome to start off and kind of practice on a fresh template before you apply to your own. So here we go. I'm going to go to I'm going to create a new, and I'm going to change it to architectural template, just as your plan should already be created in. Click OK. And here we go. So let's start looking at where we need to go for creating a topo surface. I'm going to go to masking and site and topo surface right here. I'm just going to click OK. That's fine. It says on level 1. That's why it's kind of warning me. Do you really want to do this on level 1? Probably not. You can do it, but it requires you going into your visual graphics, which means, or your visibility and graphics, which you can edit right here, or you can hit VG on your keyboard. Oh, it's not letting me do that command in this version. So anyways, that's what you would have to do. You would have to go in here and turn on, find out where your topography is and turn this on. I can do that and leave that as it is and click apply. And I could build a topo surface right here without a problem. But I'm not going to do that because that is actually not very good practice. So what I'm going to do is I will be able to see it in level 1, but what I'm going to do is create it now in my site plan. So I've opened it up here, click on topo surface, and it says I'm at elevation 10. What I want to do is make sure that my elevation starts at zeros. And what I'm going to do is click a few lines here, and it's at all those are at 0. What we do now is change this, let's say, to 5, and let's do a few rounds of this. There's 5, and let's say the next it tiers up, goes and kind of makes it tiers and goes up to 10, and let's say the next round is at 15, and I'm going to go up here and hit up 15. Now I've got a little weird geometry happening here, but we could keep that from being a huge issue because you're going to have to, it's going to leave some weird geometry there. So what I'm going to do is click OK on that and go into 3D mode. And it might, well, actually it didn't really do a whole lot there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I love some weird geometry happening right here, which it kind of really don't like. So I'm going to modify this object here. I'm going to edit the surface and kind of push this out there. So if it's more even with the other points here, then it's probably a lot better. See how that geometry doesn't look weird anymore. So that's a little tip for you. If you end up with some weird jagged edges, then that's something that you can do to get around that. All right, so back to what we're doing here. Let me get to a point where I like. You'll see that these are increments here. My increments are set in units of 10. Oh, I see. I now have some other geometry that's kind of wacky. So I'm going to fix that before I go on because that's going to bother me forever. So I'm going to take that and push it up here as well. Make sure that these are all looking good. All right, so I'm happy with this now, I think. There. Now I'm going to go to UN on my keyboard, and I see that I am in feet. So that's good because that's what I'm used to, and we don't need to change it from that. Now what I'm going to do is go to this little button right here. It says Site Settings. Click on that. And here I can judge, like these are all by 1 feet. So if you count these, I went up to 15 feet from 0. So it's going to be 15 different sections here. But if I wanted more, I guess, gradients showing, I can do something like 0.5 feet. And so when I hit apply, now it's doubled. So I have a kind of a better idea maybe what the grade would look like. That might be good if you have very slight grade changes. I'm going to go back to 1, apply, and same thing applies if I went to 2 and apply. Then you see how it kind of shrinks down, or actually lessens the number of gradients or increments that it shows here. So I'm going to go back to 1, be okay with that. Everything else passing through elevation is at zeros, which is fine. Section cutout material is going to be earth, which is good. And I'm going to apply this. Now I can apply a material to this. It said a material of earth, but I can go over here and change that. I can choose by category. And right here, I can choose earth and pull that up. There's already earth material that's applied here. I can even apply different textures that deal with earth like this and apply those in some of these slots. So you can do that, hit apply, say okay, and nothing changes. But if I go into realistic mode, I can see I have dirt now shown here. But let's say I want to change that. I don't like the dirt. I want to make it grass. What I can do here is choose grass. And nothing pops up. Oh no. So what I'm going to do is create a new material and new default material. I'm going to change this. I'm going to rename it to grass. Then once that's done, I'm going to click right here, open close this asset browser. And that's what opens this. I'm going to type up here is grass. And I have all the grasses I could ever think about and more. So I'm going to choose what's common around here, St. Augustine. Once I chose that, I'm going to hit the double arrows over here and close this out. You can see that now it's applied this grass to that texture there. I'm going to apply that, click OK, and now I have grass, right? But what happened to the earth? Well, let's take a look here. I'm going to select this. Actually, I'll put my site plane. What I'm going to do is show my section box. And here's this great giant section box. So what I'm going to do, if I want to see the earth, kind of the grade beneath that grass, what I'm going to do is bring this in. Kind of see how that's working there. It shows now kind of the grade below my grass just by adjusting this section box. Maybe something like that. Not quite. A little bit more on this side. There we go. All right. So now I have kind of grade. I can show that. One last thing I can do here. I don't really need to always see that grade in the ground. But let's say I wanted to add a building pad on this. So what level is your building beginning on? You can build on top of that. If your hill is going over and around your building. So let's say your building starts on the first level, but the grade changes and maybe it goes higher, goes lower on different levels. So you can change it however you need to. Your building pad is something that will show on, let's see here. Let's go my site plan and let's do the building pad here. Let's do just a regular box here. We'll draw this out like that and say okay. I'll go back to 3D mode. Let's see. Here's where it starts. I have it starting on level 1. Now, what if you wanted that starting on level 2? Apply it and see what happens. It raises the grade up here and raises the floor all to a level 2 level. Oh, I'm underneath my ground there, sorry. And there we have that. So I've got different ways to show this level, whether it's retrograde or above grade. You can kind of decide how you want that to look. There's other methods I'll show in the next video. So we'll put that back on level 1. And let's say at level 1, I then can go up and my house comes out of this hill or whatever it might be. Anyways, those are a few tips on creating your topo surface.